Even though we were trying to start directly at 6, you know, times that doesn't always work out. Both players are loaded in, so I'm gonna go ahead and start the game. And change the screen away from this disgusting counter to a beautiful game. First map, Copal Mine. Welcome photo. Maybe you can tell me if my mic is of okay quality. Let's go ahead and turn down the music actually.
Get ready. 3.
Thank you, thank you. Alright, let's see. I tried opening the game in window mode to see if that might solve some of my audio issues. Go ahead and see if that happens. I haven't casted in quite a few days, I feel like. Alright, so Heathen is playing the best character in the game. I wish I could say that. Nichols, the U.S. Air Division, while PapaFrita is going with the Gallant German Infantry Division. German Infantry. Oh, that's a good one. Alright, we're going to see Heathen is pushing out his lanes with a single fighter. Very easy, doesn't have to build any of the troop trucks that you see that PapaFrita went with. He went 4 right at the bat. They're all spawning around the same exact time, so they can ball up perfectly. That is the correct way to spawn troops, it seems. It's been tested along a lot of games, and I agree with that method. However, they are basic troops, and they get mowed down by fighter planes very easily. You can see Heathen's also sending a lot of his tanks to the X markers, setting this right lane tank to destroy this artillery. Probably will not do that once he notices that the artillery is safely behind the base walls now. You can see also PapaFrita is also investing a little bit into some fighters, just purely to push out any infantry that come close, and that is thunder. I don't know if you can hear that, but it is it's literally Florida in July, so you might hear some thunder randomly. Alright, let's go ahead and see the money counters. I'm guessing that Heathen is just gonna save all his money to upgrade early to get the P-38s. Kind of the best method to dealing with playing such a garbage character. We are getting the first crate drop of the game. You can see both players already sent... Looks like both of them sent their light units to the bottom right of the screen where the crate drop is correctly going. Looks like PapaFrita will get this one with really no issue. See here, PapaFrita's lane that he had troop trucks spawning masses of infantry are getting close to the base, but he then is defensively using that fighter to take out the waves as well. I'm not bitter, I'm a professional caster. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at what PapaFrita is still doing. He is spawning a lot of troop trucks as well right now. Quite a lot actually, just send them out in the middle lane. I guess to sort of spread out the balls of units he wants. Interesting, I don't see many Gallant players only spam normal troop trucks, at least especially in the point of this game where we're starting to get a little bit close to the mid game. I'd like to see some bazooka troopers in there, but it might work out. I'm not sure. I've never seen it. We're seeing a nice air fight here. PapaFrita is doing the correct method of trying to deal with P-38s is by suiciding fighters into it. Meanwhile, Heathen still had this single tank here that he spawned at the beginning of the game. Got the crate drop, used the money from the crate drop to offensively push this base. Timing's pretty odd, personally, due to the fact that, yeah, he did get quite a lot of well, I guess he did get a lot of troop trucks from that. So good job on that nuke. But if I didn't notice the troop trucks were gone, I would say the time is a little off because there's no units pushing that base, which I think is very beneficial for Nichols to be able to get into that base, even with P-38s. He's starting to amass his units outside PapaFrita's base. I don't even care about the lanes. Just kind of letting... So an interesting thing about Heathen is he always is confused about where infantry sort of plays a role in the game, especially when he's playing Heathen. He's not building any troop planes or troop trucks from what I'm seeing. He's going straight for the armor. Kind of playing similarly to what you would see Beaumont or Beaumont or Wolf would do, just kind of stack tank units in the middle with some defensive AA to kind of help out with the fighters that PapaFrita is sending as retaliation to these P-38s. Possibly photo. I don't know. I just kind of like give me more color today. I'm just kind of in that kind of mood, you know. But yeah, I do think it's pretty beneficial to even get like troop trucks out in Nickel's base, just to have that constant pressure, even especially in the lanes that the enemy is not spawning infantry throughout. Okay, we are finally seeing the troop trucks come out on the right side. So as long as Heathen does properly micro the fighters to keep pushing that lane, and maybe eventually gets enough room to use that P-38 to take out the defensive troop trucks, we might see a pretty good push. But a very good motorcycle from PapaFrita. Noticed that AA, ground AA, was just there, kind of sitting around doing nothing, and was able to send a single motorcycle take that out. Purple Mine is a very interesting map, very small, and a lot of weird, confusing pathways down here, where you can see Heathen has a single artillery, kind of placed perfectly, a very interesting spot where both lanes kind of collide in the middle X there, and this artillery is kind of taking out both lanes at once, so it's a pretty neat little spot, especially when you have tanks there, kind of making the infantry stop to fire at them. See one more time. Well, now the tanks are kind of taking out one lane, but that last minute, it was pretty cool seeing a single artillery take out like 2 different lanes at once. Alright, we see a lot of different kinds of troop trucks now in PapaFrita's base. At the same time, we have a crate drop right dead center in the middle. No way that PapaFrita is going to be able to get that. He then gets that with no stripe at all. Pretty interesting, these tanks can also shoot up this cliff. I don't really know why units can shoot up and down this little pathway here, but they can. So if you didn't know that, now you know. Alright, we are seeing a pretty good push from infantry and artillery, as well as the AA to give a little more defensive fire. We're also seeing a couple troop planes in Heathen's base. You can see in the sort of the middle left of the screen there. Meanwhile, there's a lot of fighters still alive at PapaFrita's base, and he has a ground AA to give them some support. So we're not seeing much P-38s due to the very good. Wow! Oh my God! That was a pretty good nuke. I mean, yes, it made he killed troop trucks, but also moved a lot of troop trucks out of the lanes that he's kind of focusing right now. He's got tanks. He's got artillery in that side. Well, he had artillery. He's got tanks in that bottom lane of the screen. And forcing PapaFrita to spend money on more troop trucks to keep giving more, or attempt to get more infantry equilibrium in that bottom lane. It seems that he's also using the troop planes in that bottom lane, which is why you see is that bottom lane, I believe. Nope, he's actually troop planes on the top lane. So that's why we see 2 different lanes here, pushing very hard with just purely infantry and not much else. We do see that there's a tank and artillery, very low health in the bottom right lane. But we're not seeing any P-38s, as I was saying before, because there's just so much air and anti-air presence on PapaFrita's base side that we're just not going to see the P-38s really shine here. Very scary for even a good P-38 player to have to deal with all these fighters and ground AA, which is why instead of just sending out fighters, you just send out ground AA of your own as Nichols, and it's just takes a little bit out of these fighters. There's not much left. We'll probably start seeing the P-38 do some action pretty soon here. 2 fighters, one's very close to dying on PapaFrita's side. And just look at all these troop trucks just piling up on this base. I would sense that the next crate drop will be a deciding factor. If Heathen does get that crate drop, we'll probably see a huge artillery barrage happen around the same time as he's sending in the P-38. That's my opinion, or my guess. But I mean, this is a very small base on Cobble Mine. There's not, there's kind of like 2 nuke ranges wide. Oh, here we go. I don't even need a don't even need a crate drop. We're just seeing it right away. This time he's kind of focusing in the middle lane. I'm guessing he was planning on PapaFrita to dodge that bottom tier units to the middle, but he still get a lot out of it. Heathen still has a lot of tanks in that bottom and middle area. Now the middle and bottom lanes are both just flooded with infantry. Still see P38 is kind of just the same one since the beginning of the game that's been low at health because the attempted suicide fighters against it. Kind of hovering over Heathen's base, not really doing anything. No one saw that. We are starting to see that PapaFrita's infantry is pushing very well at themselves in the middle left of the screen. They're pushing that top lane. Meanwhile, PapaFrita is also using fighters defensively to push out the bottom lane that he's having so much trouble with. Nichols has a lot of trouble with pushing lanes. You gotta be very cost effective and very well with your money and timing and everything to be able to finish games like this. Alright, we are seeing a second P38 come out from Heathen. I guess he's trying to get a little more confident. Like, if even if I have this one near death, I can have this full health one do some damage, even if it suicides. Looks like he is maybe gonna suicide it. Nope, migrates it perfectly away. Is at about 60% health, but we'll go about 40% health now. But devastatingly destroying every troop truck. There is no troop trucks anymore, just huge balls of fire pits everywhere in the base. We finally see that PapaFrita did make a fighter, or have a fighter migrate it, but if he microed that one fighter on the bottom lane infantry, instead of keeping in that closed loop, he would have definitely taken out that P38 without really no time. So this is very damaging for PapaFrita. Is none of that huge pushing from the infantry he had to kept the lanes out far away from his base. Now he's just sending out tanks kind of just to push out lanes as a last ditch measure. But tanks are very, you know, they're kind of like cannon fodder to the P38. PapaFrita did try to send out a fighter, but he didn't correctly micro the P38, so it could not take as much fire as you would hope. At this point, it's up to Heathen to just kind of finish the game, allow his units to push into all sides of the base. He's got infantry flooding all lanes. There's no way that PapaFrita at this point will be able to get any troop trucks out and stay alive long enough for them to be worth it. So I'm going to be curious what he decides to do. We've not seen any tank destroyers either in this game. We just see PapaFrita. He's just sending out the fighters defensively. Which is a problem because Heathen's got a lot of ground AA right here, taking them out. But even though PapaFrita is trying to dogfight, it's kind of hard to dogfight when someone brings a gun to a knife fight, you know? That little edge of that ground AA in combination with the fighters is quite a lot to deal with. Alright, one P38 left, one did go down. So we see 3 troop trucks and 3 troop planes from Heathen's base. First tower goes down from PapaFrita. He's sending out artillery, probably trying to get some free shots on this huge mass of units. Probably would have been better to try to attempt to die. I don't know, there's not much you can do. I think tank destroyer would have been best, but even then, it's kind of too late at this point. I think we're going to easily see Heathen take this first game from here on out. Almost all the towers are about to be down. Alright, tanks and infantry are rushing inside the base now as we speak. Last tower about to go down, just taking the last few hits from the infantry, and base taking hits as well. Double infantry, artillery barrage coming from Heathen. So Heathen will definitely take game 1 of our series of 3 of Heathen versus PapaFrita. So good job, both players. And we will hop into the next match right away. both players are loading into the map right now. Or I should say one, we're just waiting on one more player to load in to the lobby. And we'll start as soon as that player's in. The next map will be Hill 512. It's actually one of my favorite maps in the game. I don't even know why I like it, I just do. Alright, here we go. Very quick intermission we just had there. I think running the game in with casting purposes seems to work.
Get ready.
Yeah, it seems to be a very good fix to all the audio issues.
3, 2, 1.
If you ever want to know how to run any unique game in windowed mode, just hold down Alt while clicking Play in VR in Steam, or just Play on Steam. And if you hold it down long enough, you'll get a window, and it'll ask you if you want full screen or windowed. So very useful. Alright, so we have Heathen sticking with the Nichols character on the left side, red base. PapaFrita is changing it up with the Wolf German Armor Division. We already see 3 troop trucks coming out from PapaFrita right over there. Get some good, I think infantry pushing on this map is very important. A lot more on the other maps. You'll catch a lot of people off guard on these larger maps when infantry just kind of start pushing on your base pretty hard. Same as the last... I couldn't tell if I heard audio. Yeah, there's audio. Same as the last game, Heathen is using using fighters to push out lanes. PapaFrita tried to send a fighter to take out that little pesky fighter, just taking out infantry. Maybe that's why I like the map so much, though, is you can easily bait enemy fighters through your base AA, which is so pronounced out here on this extra front of the base here. We also have Heathen also doing a lot of similar tactics again. We see tanks in all 3 spots. It gives them some wide coverage of the map, as well as when the first crate drops do come out. Won't see any like easy Jeep steals from PapaFrita. We're seeing a lot of fighter micro from Heathen. I'm guessing he's just kind of using that to give him time, pushing out the lane so he can get those P-38s out as soon as possible. Interesting thing about P-38s against Wolf is they're okay. I really don't know. I think I prefer playing against units such as the Tank Destroyer rather than the Tiger when I'm using P-38s. P-38s do a lot of damage to ground units, but Tigers take quite a lot of runs just to destroy. We'll see if PapaFrita even goes for the Tiger tanks. I'm seeing a lot of people just ditch the Tiger tanks completely and just spam the walking Stukas. Alright, we're seeing artillery here just kind of defend this lane, push it out without any fighters. Speaking of fighters, still a lot of fighter versus infantry going on here. This time for PapaFrita defensively, and we will see some offensive fighters taking out this plane probably in one go once they start firing. They might not fire. That happens sometimes. I don't know why, but it happens. Still no crate drop here in, oh, wow. Well, there it is. So as I said earlier, Heathen should have the advantage here. He's got a couple tanks kind of like parked in all of the X markers. We'll see where the crate will drop. Sounds like it's going to drop in the middle. Yep. So 2 tanks here. No way for PapaFrita to send out a little sneaky motorcycle to grab that. We are seeing the first special unit from PapaFrita, the Walking Stuka. This is a good map for it. There's a lot of buildings to kind of micro around, but not if you go straight down the lane into these 2 tanks. That thing will get destroyed very quickly here. When you have these artillery units, the best chance is to kind of micro them in circles around buildings if you don't really have the time to micro them effectively, or at least you're just focused on other units. Just having them going in circles around these buildings will give them usually more survivability. And they can still fire over the buildings, which is a nice plus. So we can see PapaFrita is still doing a lot of stuff with infantry, despite not being the infantry German division anymore. It's doing well. You can see the lane is pushed out, especially in that left side of the screen there. You see a huge ball of infantry getting pretty near the base, probably about 75% of the way there. The bottom The bottom right lane, though, is not pushing as greatly because you can see Heathen is microing fighters to keep those basic troops at bay. That's only as good as long as they, you know, get past the base. That base AA we see so exposed in the front is a huge problem for fighters trying to push the lane out to the base. Which is why if you are a air division, you gotta take out those base AA pretty early. And that'll be kind of difficult against the Wolf division with these walking Stukas kind of just either in the base or just going around the base to defend against anything. We are seeing ground AA finally come out from PapaFrita. However, a lot of players do not learn that ground AA alone by themselves is not good enough against the P-38s. But there we go. PapaFrita knows what he's doing now. He's got the fighters out as well. Probably see him send them out to the P-38s as soon as he gets a chance to send out his ground AA. You see Heathen still microing the P-38, trying to take out that walking Stuka. Bam! Did not take it out and is nearly destroyed. He did take some interesting. He took some damage out of the base AA with artillery. You can see he's focusing on that pretty strongly. One more shot of the walking Stuka though, now artillery will go out, so that's what that thing needs to focus right now, and he does. Very good. There's another artillery pushing though from the lane, and that thing's gonna go down. One more shot. Here we go. Reload and fire. Alright, that's one less AA for the Nichols division to worry about. However, he has a lot to worry about as well because that infantry we were talking about earlier that Heathen was not keeping in check did take out actually both of the towers in this top lane up here. That's why you see a single tank kind of pushing out the lane, as well as that looped fighter defensively taking out infantry that get close enough. In some cases, a defensive fighter looping like that is more destructive than towers. Alright, we're seeing the similar strategy. The units are pushing on PapaFrita's base, so he's going to send out that artillery barrage, and that is going to take out a lot of units. I cannot even tell you the amount of money that PapaFrita just lost there. More than 30, that is for sure. Maybe more than 40 at that point. So that is a very value artillery barrage for Heathen. Speaking of value, look at this guy right here. We got a big boy coming out of the garage. That is the Tiger tank, the highest unit in the Wolf division. You can see it's just slowly making its way. As long as Heathen doesn't notice it, it might actually do a lot of damage. But I do think Heathen is staring at it right now. He'll probably send a couple of P-38s out there. P-38 is good, but only with tanks attacking the Tiger as well. P-38 doesn't do that much damage, really. It takes like 4 or 5 passes. That thing is a very tanky boy. Literally. Alright, we are seeing a couple tanks come out being microed. And PapaFrita is also microing, sending out some motorcycles, I guess, to try to take out the artillery. Alright, that was a lot of damage from that P-38 and an artillery barrage. And he also has defensive AA, so fighters cannot take P-38 out, and there it goes. Very interesting he was able to do that much damage. I guess he's not having any strafing bugs, because I was playing against Splaticus yesterday, and oh my god, I could not use my P-38s at all. Felt pretty bad. What also feels pretty bad is losing a crate to the man that's winning, and that's probably going to happen again. We see the crate dropping near this huge massive units that are already stockpiled in this area, and this this walking Stuka is going to have no chance. Let's take out a couple of units out there. I think just a single tank actually, and he's placing it very well behind the wall and buildings. So we can keep firing. Takes out a second unit as a bonus, and those tanks need directly to fire unless you have the P-38. That is going to attempt to kill this thing. Should be easy. Look at this thing. Such low health. That is tempting. I would send fighters on it because it's so fun to kill things with fighters when they're that low health. So fun. Alright, infantry with Wolf is not doing as well. He's missed it very early on the infantry. And meanwhile, we have Heathen troop planes flying over his base, 3. And that's all the infantry he has spawning. You can see they're doing pretty well. Also have a ground AA from Heathen making his way over around the base. Is taken out. Don't know what took it out, but probably a tank or something of the sort. A lot of fighters flying over Frita's base. The P-38s will not get any free shots on any of these troop trucks in that base. Especially with that single base AA that's still out here and still, as you can see, destroying. That was questionable, personally. That P-38 was... I don't know what it was going for. But still, I'm sure he was probably trying to take some shots out of the troop trucks. Maybe he values the infantry in that bottom lane pushing even more than it already is. That was pretty scary, having that base AA and all those fighters swarming around that area. Alright, infantry is actually starting to push this top lane from PapaFrita. I mean, these are just basic infantry. This single artillery will do well unless there's some high-level walking Stukas or tanks helping these infantry push. Alright, looks like there was some fires being sent, I'm guessing, to suicide against the troop planes. This is probably the worst map to try to do that on. I mean, I can just keep going on and on about these base AA, but maybe that's why I like the map. Makes troop planes actually worth something. There are ways to get around it, though. I won't talk about that. Smiley face. Alright, that P-38 is very close to going down. One more shot, and there you go. That was very worth for PapaFrita. Only spending $8 to kill a $24 unit that Heathen needs all the help he can get from those things. Nichols is so heavily dependent on those P-38s that when he doesn't have them, I mean, you just feel it. Probably won't see him spawn any units until he has enough money to spawn that P-38 for a while, which gives Frita some time to spawn some units of his own. Don't see him doing that yet. I think he spawns something out of his garage and it's just a motorcycle. A couple of them. 3 of them. Going straight for what I'm guessing is this ground AA down here. Yep, that ground AA should not have a chance. If that gets out somehow, I'll be very surprised. Marking that other one behind the other side of the buildings is the best way to stop this game of ring around the rosy. But it's going down anyway. You can see P-38 just came out almost just in time, but was not enough to save that ground AA, which Nichols does need, actually. It does help Nichols players a lot to have a ground AA. Alright, this is very good for PapaFrita. He's going to get his first crate of the game. Let's see what he spends with it. You can see he's also taking out that artillery down here that went to get the crate as well. Will he get it? Yep, gets it. That is the most worth, or the most worth trade this whole game. Despite the P-38s going down for really not much. Alright, we're just seeing more infantry at this point from PapaFrita. We can see he really values the infantry equilibrium among his lanes. Best way to continue more equilibrium. I can't talk. I mean, look at this ball of infantry right here. And he's got all these fighters kind of just laying around doing nothing. This would be the perfect time to micro them into some nice loops. Looping back to the base and taking out all of this infantry that's going to ball up pretty soon into the base. There's also no ground artillery that I can see in the base except for the other side where we'll not be able to auto attack. And there's a tank with this infantry as well. I wonder if we're going to see a artillery barrage come from Heathen onto the blue base. We are seeing him saving up money. I'm guessing that's exactly what we're going to see. Here comes the siren. I feel it. Yep, there it is. Alright, this is the perfect timing for the artillery barrage, and no units are dodging. Taking out way too much. Even taking out some fighters as a bonus, but that is a lot of trucks, man. I wish we can see how many trucks died in that last artillery barrage, but it's more than 5. 8 times 5 is 40. And infantry are in the bases as well as tanks. This is not good. There's only one tank though, so if he stops this one tank and ball of infantry, he should be able to. Maybe a walking Stuka would be the best plan of action right here. Tank is targeting the ground base at A on the bottom here. We're not seeing any walking Stukas or... Oh, wait, maybe we do? Nope, not seeing any. Alright, he is slowing down this base, though. The fires actually did take out the tank, as well as the infantry spawning from the base. He lost 8 trucks? Dear lord. Yeah, I probably should actually look at the counters, right? That's a good way to count. I barely look at the counters. Alright, look at this mess of stuff happening over here, though. We can see that PapaFrita was actually getting in the base as well himself. Or trying to. Just mostly infantry pushing their way by themselves, but we have all these massive tanks defending the base as well as with all these fighters. Yeah, 2 P-38s floating above the base. One is nearly dead. Literally just gets sneezed on it. It's flying out of the sky. Alright, he's building troop trucks yet again. I think at this point it's probably safe not to build troop trucks anymore. Kind of a scary thing to build these days. These P-38s are taken out. Also, an interesting thing he could do. 1 P-38 burst will take out this base A if he wants to sort of sacrifice that low health one. Just a thought. But this bottom lane, look at this bottom lane. We got tanks marching down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 8. That is $48 worth of tanks right there from Nichols. So he's been saving them up, stacking. He's got a 9th one here and a 10th one as well, as you can see in the middle of the screen. See if he sends that in. He's also sending in a ground AA track. There's more than $100 worth of ground units right here. This doesn't even count the P-38s. I'm sure that will give some support pretty soon as well. We see some walking Stukas trying to reply to this. They're not replying to the right things. They are now getting microed, but the P-38s are out and giving support to these tanks. This might be it. Most definitely it. Just gotta micro this artillery. That's gonna do a lot of AoE damage against these tanks. And there it goes. That will most definitely be game. I really don't... These fighters, though, are actually doing so much damage against these tanks, though. But yeah, that is basically GG for this game. Nothing to stop this except that single artillery that is actually killing these tanks. What? Oh, the classic. Oh my god. Alright. It was a little too late with the nuke. He tried to get it out to give his units some support, but that's... I mean, he's going to kill a lot of units with it. And but there are a couple tanks there that will just kind of mow down these infantry that come in. And Nichols just, you know, has trouble finishing games because of this. If you don't time everything perfectly, the last finisher, I mean, you're going to have issues. We did see Heathen lose at least $100 worth of units in that final, attempted final push. And PapaFrita didn't lose too much, really. I mean, yeah, he took some base damage, and that base A on the top, the mid-right of our screen is down, and infantry is holding the base, but those 2 tanks and fighters will do well. He has his Tiger tank as well, pushing the bottom lane, but we'll see how well that'll do. Takes 4 passes of the P-38, maybe 3. Let's see. It takes 3 passes. Yeah, sending out a ground unit without any AA support is very dangerous in this game. Really for both players. Infantry is marching in very well. Look at it go. Look at it go. And crate drop. Bottom lane. Tank is making its way there. Deep as well. PapaFrita is finally just spawning a motorcycle, but there's no way they'll even get past these troopers in the lane. For good measure, he sends that very low health P-38. That does go down by a single fighter. It was basically dead anyway. Alright, this is a better timing artillery barrage. Don't see any tanks though in the lane. Might be enough. Probably not, though. Walking Stuka just doing Walking Stuka things. Will we see a P-38 suicide to kill his Walking Stuka? Will we see that? There's 2 of them now. That's very enticing. Even if you lose a P-38, if you somehow manage to kill both of them. They're not stacked up against each other, which is a correct move from PapaFrita. They'll keep this lane pushed out even further again. Good mixture of A fighters, air fighters taking out infantry as well as the Walking Stukas. Sent out that Walking Stuka pretty close to the enemy base. Looks like he's trying to take out the AA guns? Maybe? That doesn't seem right. Wow, they do that much damage? What the? 3 shots do that much damage with the... Wow, okay. Huh, never seen that before. I've never seen someone like send a single Walking Stuka. I didn't know how much damage they did, but dang, that's pretty insane. Alright, more artillery or troop trucks in the top lane. More of the same happening. We just see tons of tanks gathering up yet again. Good way to end games, but it's just so scary too. Alright, this is the perfect timing. We might see Heathen send in all the tanks. Also go for the ground drop, get the ground drop, send out maybe a double nuke barrage, or just... That's what I expect. We are seeing suicide fighters against the troop planes though, and that's why I hate troop planes, guys. That's why I literally don't buy them anymore. They're just so annoying. Like, just lose them for nothing. It's so annoying. Alright, here we go. Artillery barrage. Tanks are already out. As well as artillery taking out the base AA. A very good artillery barrage. Takes out so much. Like, Heathen's been spot on this game with the... Like, there's nothing left in the base now. It's all gone. This is it. This last base AA is going down, and P-38 will have free reign to kill anything in its path. Tanks are going in as well. Gonna focus the base, I'm sure. One shot on this base AA. I don't think he cares. I think he feels he got this. He got it.
On our base. It's been going on for some time.
And that will be 2-0. For sure for Heathen against PapaFrita. One more shot of this artillery.
Your calculations must have been off, Commander. We have lost.
Alright, so that's pretty rare. I've never seen a Wolf Division go full-on top-deployed infantry truck, but that's the problem. Infantry by themselves are just not very good. I think it's hard. I think PapaFrita is trying to play Wolf like Nichols should be played. Oh, I gotta change that. I don't know how that happened. Alright, thank you for pointing that out. Anyway, we're gonna go to our third match again. Heathen is 2-0 versus PapaFrita. And the third match will just be purposely for MMR reasons. There was not lag, actually. Waiting on the players to join the lobby. We had a little bit of lobby bugs going on, but I'm sure we'll get that solved as soon as possible.
Lit up a fire in the middle of the night, just to see your face, just to see your smile. Felt kinda lonely when you weren't there. I never saw your face, I never saw your smile. I just...
Alright, this is game 3 of Heathen versus PapaFrita. Won the match. We're just waiting for the third match for MMR reasons. I hope I chose the right map. I don't even know. Yeah, I got it. Alright, cool. We're good. We're good. I did nothing wrong. I'm perfect. Alright, again, we're having a similar change up from PapaFrita. He's going with the... Oh shoot, what is going on here? Yeah, that's a weird bug. I think they're on the wrong map again. I think we're on a wrong map. Yeah, it's definitely the wrong map. I like how they're spawning from troop planes. That's funny to me. Like they're clearly spawning from the tents in their screen. I think they're playing on what map is this? I don't remember playing on a single lane map. Seems like. Play on some sort of single lane map. I can't think of what single lane maps there are though. They don't know, man. They don't know. Alright, I'm trying to message one of them on Steam. Ah, Todd, yeah. I did. Yeah, that's definitely Chateau. That's so funny, dude. I sent him a Steam message, but I don't think he got it, so I don't really know what we're gonna do here. Yeah. I mean, seems like he's already getting into his base too on his game. He's already killing the base, what the heck? He just rushed with freaking tanks and stuff. That's hilarious, man. Well, I was trying to message them. Even if I leave the match as observer, it doesn't kill the game. It requires one of them to leave. So even though I made the match on Wallenberg, they loaded into the wrong map, and I can't. So, and I try to Steam message them and everything, but they are not getting that. Or at least Heathen's not getting my Steam message. Hopefully this game ends fast so they can realize it was a waste of time. Sooner. It's also offline on Steam, so I don't even know. Like he's appearing offline or if he's not signed into friends chat or whatever. I really think this is so funny. Like, look at this. Can this just be like part of the game? Paratroopers just flying out like ghosts from that wall. Pretty great. Well, you know what? I think I'm gonna call out here. I'm on a rotor troop plane. Since I don't know how long this game is gonna last, and there's no point observing this game, I'm gonna let them deal with their last game. Heathen did win the series, and that's it for me. I got some stuff to do anyway. So thanks for watching, everyone. Congrats, Heathen, and sorry that this game's not gonna count for you guys, but you know what? It's practice anyway. So bye.